That's hilarious. All right, let's go live over in the Book of Face. Wah, wah, wah. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, or maybe now. I don't know. What is up, Facebook? Hey, everybody. Happy Friday, frickin' Junior. It's your girl Crystal right here with Coach Liz. What's happening, Coach Liz? How are you today?
We good.
Living your best life, right? Had a night of fun last night, paying for it a little bit today, just with a lack of sleep. Just a little lack of sleep. It's okay. Okay. Hydrate or dihydrate. Sunshine and steps. You're doing
exactly. That is what we're doing today.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Let's do some was that gua sha or whatever? They have the thing where you scrape your face or something. I'm like, yeah, no. Just splash me with cold water or something. All right, you guys, you know the drill. If you are watching us, just give us a like. You don't have to comment. I'd love you to comment. I love when you tell me replay because you're watching the replay. I love when you ask questions. I love when you engage because guess what? Liz and we don't need to learn any of this shit. We literally are here to help teach you and to help show you the light so you're not doing things the wrong way, like perhaps you've been doing for a long time. We used to do things the wrong way. And now we kind of have our heads on right. So we know what we're doing. So we're here to provide value for you. Again, it does nothing for us other than make us better about talking about the same thing over and over again. So if you have a question, comment, feedback, drop them. Would you agree, Liz?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yep. Okay, cool. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty. It's all about basically how can you lose weight, lose fat, feel better, look better, have better energy, all of the things. Because we're never just going to be focused on weight loss, you guys. It's not a thing. We're the fat loss and fitness formula for a reason, because there's so much more that goes into it. But guess what? Fat loss is catchy. Everybody wants to do it. So we want to talk about how you can achieve those things without necessarily measuring and tracking every little thing that you're doing, because it really is unreasonable to think that you're always going to have access to a food scale, or you're always going to have access to measuring cups, or that you're always going to want to record things in an app like MyFitnessPal. So we just wanted to briefly kind of go over some of the strategies that you can use to help you be successful with your goals without being a psycho 24/7. That sound good? Yeah, we're here for it. We're here for it. So first off, I do want to preface with the fact that yes, when we're working with our one-on-one clients, 90+% of them do track their food in a tracking app such as MyFitnessPal. But I think a lot of reasons why people have had sort of issues with tracking their food or whatever is because they've been too strict and restricted when it comes to what they need to be tracking and how precise they need to be. And what I mean is you have to hit this exact number of carbs, fats, proteins. Would you agree, Liz?
Oh yeah. And also it's a new thing for them. I think that most people are so used to doing things like Weight Watchers where they're counting points and doing things like that, which is or having those little containers and stuff and just filling it with little containers. Those are all a way of tracking food, but we're not taught it. And none of us are, you wouldn't expect your kid to just automatically know calculus right away. You wouldn't expect your dog to automatically know what sit is and stuff. So it's something that's different and it takes time and effort to learn. And we're in a day and age where humans, we love instant gratification. If we don't get it, then guess what? It's not right for me.
Yes, I totally agree with that. It's that, oh, I didn't pick it up right away. Oh, I'm struggling. I don't want struggle. I want easy Amazon Prime results. I want easy grocery pickup, right? We all want those things that just come to us easily. But guess what? I want you to think back. And I'm sure you're like me, where there's not a lot of things that were worth achieving, or maybe that oftentimes weren't worth achieving, that came easily, right? Just like Liz said with your kids, take it back to be more personal. Did you just automatically get an A in any class? No, you had to earn that A in that class. Did you automatically get a degree or get a diploma? No, you had to earn it. And you're only going to earn something by learning how to achieve the thing. So if tracking is new to you, cool, keep at it, keep plugging along. If you're confused about it, just keep practicing, asking questions, being curious, and seeing what you can do with the data. And I think in the end, you'll get there, but you'll also realize you don't have to rely on it 100%. It's just a tool to have in your tool belt, right? I learned how to do pre-calc. It doesn't mean I'm using it every day. That's for damn sure. I learned how to write in cursive, definitely not using it every day. So yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, like being able to track allows you to do these things like, oh, hey, I like traveling. Most people aren't, or going out to dinner for a date night. Like I have a few people that, you know, they're like, hey, Liz, like going on a girls trip or whatever, how am I going to do this? And a lot of our conversations lately have been, okay, cool. Like what are the tools that we can use so that you can't like, so you don't have to bring a scale to the restaurant or bring a scale to the cabin or whatever, because that's not always realistic. So
Yeah.
it's
I love
it's
that.
definitely all useful.
Yes, I love that. And, you know, one of the things that I've heard from so many coaches, and I remember my coach talking about this, and I'm huge on it, is like that structure allows flexibility, right? Like we do, or we practice flexible dieting where, you know, we have like an 80-90% clean, healthy, nutritious, like I prefer to call like nutrient dense to sort of diet, where we're having our proteins and our plants and our, you know, whole foods, single ingredient food sources, because I like to have that 10 to 20% more fun foods. And that's not just from like a weight loss perspective or anything, that's from a living life perspective, right? So like 6 out of 7 days a week, I'm like doing the damn thing for the most part. Maybe that seventh day is when I go out for like date night or something, or we're going to an event or whatever. But every day I'm having a little bit of fun, right? That's why you'll see me having like an Oreo or having cereal or something in my crack bowls or my creamies or whatever, because the rest of the day, it's all foods that make me feel my best. They give me good energy and they overall help me achieve whatever my goals are when it comes to my physique and my health. So, you know, flexible dieting is where it's at when we have that structure and we know, hey, I'm hitting 2,000 calories a day, but I want to have, you know, 80% whole nutrient dense foods and then the other 20% are more fun foods. Cool. That means I actually get like 400 calories a day of fun. Like, what do I want to spend that on? Do I want to spend it on going to Starbucks? Do I want to spend it on having, you know, a couple of Oreos that night? Like, whatever it is, structure breeds flexibility. And I can have that because I know what I'm working towards all day with my numbers. So, yeah. Okay, cool. So let's dive into some of the nitty gritty. I actually have like a whole 30-minute like how to where I'm in my kitchen showing you guys some of these strategies and stuff. If that's something you're interested in, well, guess what? It's in our one-on-one client portal. So you got to be a one-on-one client. Ooh, guess what? I might be really nice and like send it to you if you want it. So you're going to have to like comment on here like, hey, Crystal, can I have that video showing me how you're doing this? Like walk me through it. Because if you're anything like me, it just makes more sense when you can like see somebody actually doing it. Whereas we're talking about this and clearly we're both in our offices. So we're not going to be showing you what it looks like in a real setting, like in our kitchen or whatever. So anyways, if you're interested, let me know. But let's talk about, Liz, you are the queen of this. So I want you to talk about well-balanced plates. What does a well-balanced plate look like? And how can that help somebody to not have to measure and track and weigh everything?
So I use a balanced plate method where you take your plate. I legitimately don't care what size plate it is. Most plates are like 9 inches. But for like, if you have a plate this big, like cool, you're going to get full and like be pretty satiated. So divide your plate in half. Half of that is going to be your fruits or vegetables or both for all I care. Half of it, fruits and vegetables. A quarter of it is going to be protein. The other quarter is going to be, you know, those flexible, fun things. I always encourage people, most of your meals should have like a carb that's on like the low glycemic index and, you know, about a thumb's worth of like fats or sauces or whatever. And then do that, like eat that. Okay. You're going to be full. You're going to be satiated. And I tell people, look at your whole day now, and half of your day should be fruits and vegetables. A quarter of your day should be protein. A quarter of it should be carbs of some sort. So yeah, that's how I try and balance it out. You're getting your micronutrients that your body needs. You're allowing yourself the flexibility to have those fun carbs. Like if you want Oreos, like cool. let's take the Oreo situation. Let's do like a little Greek yogurt bowl, sprinkle in some Oreos, and now I'm going to add in some strawberries and like probably blueberries and raspberries. So I'm having all of the things now.
Love it. Love it. Okay. And so let's like piece together an example of what that looks like, you guys. So she said half of her plate, fruits and veggies. Okay. So let's pretend you're at a restaurant. Okay. You're at fucking Texas Roadhouse. I don't know. I haven't eaten that place in like over a decade, but let's pretend you're at Texas Roadhouse. Choose a fruit or a vegetable from the menu. I'm going to say there's probably not a lot of fruits. They might have like apple slices or something for their kids' menu or whatever, but I'm pretty sure they have usually like a veggie of the day. So that can be asparagus, green beans, broccoli, carrots, right? Or maybe they have like a mixed veggie assortment. Awesome. Great. That should be half of your plate. If they won't sell you that, cool. Ask for a double veggie. Like that's probably going to be about half of a plate. Or we could have one of those veggies and like a garden side salad. Okay. So that right there, that's going to be probably a pretty healthy dose of some fruits or veggies. Okay. And so Liz, would you suggest that the fruits and veggies are the last thing they eat or the first thing or in the middle? Or like, do you have any sort of strategy of like how they should maybe tackle this plate for most results?
Personally go by, it's a mix and it depends on how like I'm feeling. I tend to eat my protein and vegetables first. And like, it just depends. I tend to eat them both together. Like, I don't know. I'm one of those people that I could mix all my food together and I'll be fine. And then I eat my fun things last. One, because those normally taste like the best. And it's normally the thing that I want, like French fries or a baked potato, mac and cheese. So I'm gonna save that for last. But the protein and fruits and vegetables are gonna keep me fuller. I'm going to feel fuller faster. So I'm not going to overindulge in, you know, the chips on the side or my mac and cheese. Exactly. Bread basket. Oh my gosh. Yes. We just talked about like the other day about Texas Roadhouse bread, and I haven't stopped thinking about that in case anybody was wondering. Now I want to try them.
Maybe we should go on a date. Maybe we should fly over.
Yes.
I can so get down on that bread with butter. Holy shit, it's been over a decade.
I've never had it, but that's the way I eat it. Okay. Protein and fruits and vegetables take a lot longer to digest, and they're not, I call them slider foods. A lot of people call them slider foods. So things that are quick digesting, things like popcorn, pastas, things like that. You're not going to feel full for very long with those things, but protein, fruits and vegetables, it's going to take a lot longer, take a lot more energy. It's going to sit in your stomach a little bit longer. So
love it. Okay, cool. So we're not saying there's a right way or a wrong way to eat your plate. We're just telling you, hey, this is typically the chain of operations. Like start with that fruit or veggie plus your protein, which we'll get into next year, because it's going to give you the benefit of like staying fuller for longer. And this is why, like, if at the restaurant they do start off with like a bread basket or chips or whatever, like maybe you ask them, could you bring that like with my dinner? And then maybe that's something you choose to have with your dinner, or maybe you choose to not have it at all, because I know this has happened to all of us. We've gone effing ham on those chips and salsa or those delicious rolls, and your dinner gets there and you're like not even hungry, but like you're gonna force yourself to eat it because like you ordered it and it tastes so good and blah, 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 blah. And now you've just had an abundance of calories. You feel effing miserable, when really if you would have just not filled up on the bullshit, you would be fine eating the meal, probably even just half of the meal. So okay, so we've started our plate. We've got our vegetable. We've got maybe our garden salad, whatever. Awesome. And I would highly recommend that. Like, hey, please do not bring the bread, but what you can do is bring me a side salad. Like, start that bitch now. And pro tip, get your dressing on the side, you guys. Other pro tip, take your fork, dip that in the dressing, and then dip your dressing-coated fork in the salad. They'll save you a fuck ton of calories, because I know you're wasting them on about 400 calories of ranch dressing if you're just allowing them to put the dressing on the salad for you. Don't do it. Hot tip, okay? So next up, we've got a quarter of our plate, she said, is the protein source. So your protein source, what it is not, it is not those things that, like, I don't know, have a teeny bit of protein. So it's not the cheese in your salad. It's not the cheese on top of your mashed potatoes. It's not the cheese on top of your mac and cheese. It is a single ingredient food that you know has a good dose of protein. So it's going to be your chicken, your turkey, your beef, your fish, your seafood like shrimp or lobster or crab. It's going to be eggs, egg white, right? Maybe we're going out to breakfast and we're having the damn thing. So at Texas Roadhouse, it's probably going to be a leaner cut of steak. This is something you want to be aware of too. Like maybe we're checking out those menus ahead of time, you guys. I was on a call the other day with a woman who just joined our 90-day program. And she told me, she's like, we had Costco steaks. And then I went to record it afterwards. And I was like, holy shit. She had about 500 calories worth of like a ribeye steak or something is what it was. And I'm like, yeah. So there's a reason. Okay. That's a fattier cut of meat. Like just be aware of what those protein options are, about how many calories they're providing, because not all proteins are created equal. We know there's leaner sources, there's fattier sources. And if you're having a steak in particular and you really want that steak because you're loving the red meat, awesome. I love red meat. I literally have it every day. Then you want to probably opt for something more like a sirloin or a filet or something that's going to be leaner. And especially because we are going out to a restaurant, we know there's already going to be extra fat added on to whatever they're giving you anyways, because butter and oil, that's how they make it taste effing awesome. So anyways, quarter of your plate is that protein. Liz already talked about like, hey, we're eating that protein and those veggies like right off the bat. And then if we still have an appetite left, what are we eating? We're going to finish off with that like carb and fat source. So maybe, you got plenty of fat from whatever that protein was, because maybe it was a steak, or maybe you got plenty of fat because you had the dressing with your salad. And of course, you probably had plenty of fat if you were going out to eat, period, because they're cooking everything in oil and butter. So unless you're having raw veggies, guess what? Plenty of fat in that meal. So maybe that final carb source is a baked potato or sweet potatoes, or it is rice, or maybe it's fries, right? Love me some damn fries. But yeah, so that's kind of the chain of events. That's what your plate looks like. Think about it as a 4-part plate. 1/2 fruits, veggies, 1/4 protein, 1/4 carbs. And that's something that we can practice, you guys, at home, at events, if you're at a barbecue or whatever, at a restaurant, at a hotel breakfast buffet. You can use these strategies wherever, okay? So anything else in terms of the well-balanced plate that I forgot about and that maybe we haven't already elaborated on?
No, I think like the simplest way, like especially if you guys are going out to eat, is think about the sides that we normally order. Make that your main dish and have that main dish that the restaurant claims as main as your side. So that's the way that I've been describing to people, like, hey, let's do this. So that side salad, make that your main salad. Okay. Like, yes, I'm going to have a bomb salad with some steak on it or chicken. And then for my side, I'm going to have a potato or whatever. Yeah. So
I love it. And because let's remember, you guys, going out to eat doesn't mean eating like an asshole. Or it doesn't have to. A lot of us treat it that way. We're like, oh, well, at home all week, I was eating a boring ass salad. First of all, I eat like 2 salads a day and they are not boring. They're fucking delicious. So maybe you need to up level your game. But so we go out and we're like, yes, I'm going to indulge. I'm going to have the things, and everything's fried and everything's greasy and everything's like something I can't pronounce. And it has all these extra like spreads on it that make it really good. Okay. Like, do you have to do that every meal out? So like, for instance, let's say you're somebody who's going on like a 3-day trip. I just talked to one of our clients yesterday who's going out of town next week for 3 days. Like that's it. Not even an entire 3 days. It's just like over the course of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, she'll be out of town. And guess what? It's okay. You don't need to go out for every meal. Like save it for one. You're going out to dinner each night. Awesome. Those other 2 meals need to look as similar as they would if you were at home, because she's going to be at an Airbnb. She can have access to groceries. She can bring her own groceries. She can have a fridge. So just, again, every time you go out to eat, you don't have to eat like an asshole. Every time you go out to eat, it doesn't need to be exciting. And especially if you're in a fat loss phase and you still want to go out to eat, you're going to need to order plain and simply. You're going to need to order the fish grilled without extra butter and oil. You're going to need to order the green vegetable, again, steamed or whatever, without the extra oil and butter. Like, you can tell them these things when you request it. And you're going to need to order like the plain baked potato side or the plain rice or whatever. It's going to have to be plain if you really, really want to go out to eat and actually achieve that goal in a timely manner. Okay. So anyways, we got the well-balanced plates. We're doing the things. One of the other tips that I have, which is in the video that I said, if you want me to like send this over to you, I will. Valerie already asked for it. I already sent it to her. That's how on top of this shit I am. But start practicing these things at home. So not only the plate method, but like for instance, Liz and I, with working with our clients, if it's one-on-one or if it's in group, one of their daily habits is typically to get, and Liz came up with this for us and I love it, 5 cups of fruits and veggies a day every day. So actually start practicing that at home when you do have access to measuring cups, right? So many times I'll look at a food log and see somebody recording 20 grams of raspberries. What the fuck are you even wasting your time for? Like, if you have 20 grams of a berry, it better be because that's all that was left, not because you're like, oh, this is plenty. This is a lot of fiber. No, the hell it isn't. It's like 1/2 of a gram of fiber, you guys. Start practicing out what this looks like. Like, get curious about your food. Like, okay, I want to see exactly how much 1 cup of broccoli is. Get a 1 cup measuring cup, measure it out, pour it on your plate, see what that visually looks like. Do it with your fruits, do it with your vegetables, just do it whenever. And throughout the course of being at home when you do have access to these things, so that you now can correlate, okay, if I'm trying to eat 5 cups of fruits and veggies, even if I'm on vacation, even if I'm staying at somebody else's house, what does that look like when I see it on a plate? And now you have the practice and now you can see that. Okay. And then same for doing it with like a protein source, like actually get out your food scale, whatever, check to see, okay, I'm going to go for 6 ounces. Notice I said 6 ounces. Get away from your fucking bullshit 4 ounces or 3 ounces or 2 ounces of chicken and turkey, you guys. Aim for 6 ounces because I can tell you that right there is a real easy way to just increase that protein intake that almost all of you are lacking on. Measure it out on a food scale. What does 6 ounces of this protein source look like? Cool. You've got it on your plate. Now you know what to expect when you go out and see these things. Okay. So anything to add on to that, Liz?
Something that's helpful with like the fruits and vegetables. So like when I was at your house, those cute little containers that you have, I legitimately have been telling everybody, I'm like, go get yourself a few of those. And then fill them up with the fruits and vegetables that you love. Yep. And then guess what? Eat 5 of them a day. Like if you just have it, especially for somebody like me with like ADHD and it like I have to unwrap like my oranges and stuff if I'm going to eat it. Otherwise they will literally rot and die. Like that's just what they will do on my counter. Same thing with bananas. I will have to take it out, portion it all out, and then I just have this nice little bowl thing that I can just have and snack on all day long. And especially people are busy, it's hot, it's a great reason to have around. So just have it. It's great.
Just practice.
Same thing with protein.
Totally. Just, it's all about practice, you guys. So those are kind of the 2 methods that I really had in mind for today would be the 4-part plate, the well-balanced plate. And then of course the practicing things when you're at home, right? We can practice by using things in measuring cups. We can practice by measuring things on food scales. We can practice by, again, knowing what that correlation looks like from the measuring cup or from the scale to how it looks on our plates, because there's really no reason to even give a shit about what 6 ounces of chicken is, for example, unless you know how much that 6 ounces of chicken is when you go away somewhere else, because you're not just going to be living at your home 24/7 for the rest of your life. You're probably going to go out in the real world and you're probably going to want to know, all right, how do I make sure I'm getting enough of these great foods while I'm away? And then this could also be told for you with the things that are quote unquote unhealthy or the bad foods, as some people like to call them, right? Get your ass to a food scale, go measure out a serving size of granola, go measure out a serving size of cereal, of peanut butter, of cooking oil, like all these things that you just don't even like think about. You just nonchalant, you're like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's what I always eat. So it's got to be a serving size. You're probably wrong, right? Like you're probably wrong. You probably have no clue how many extra calories you're giving yourself just because you don't know what you don't know. And so if you've never practiced it, you've never tried actually weighing out your coffee creamer, you're probably having 200 calories of coffee creamer a day unknowingly. And I speak this from experience. My husband and I both used to be like going through a coffee creamer thing a week. Yeah, now it takes us like a good month at least to go through a coffee creamer container because we actually measure it and it's like, holy shit, that was a lot of extra calories. Any other methods you want to talk about, Liz?
Not for tracking wise, but just for like satiation. Most of the people in this group are like wanting fat loss and all that, and like eat slowly. Put your fork down between your bites. Everybody just like shovels that. No, legitimately, put it down.
Yeah,
put down your fork and chew. Even like my husband, like he'll finish his plate and I'm still eating. Like I wouldn't even like get through a quarter of my plate, and everybody will wait for me. I'm like, cool. Like, so they're still like conversating, having more drinks. I'm still working on my one drink and my plate, and I'm having significantly less food than anybody else. And like they start snacking on like more chips and stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I don't even finish my plate. I have normally a to-go container like for later. So slow down, actually chew your food, put down your fork.
Yeah, I love that. And so that's, I'm sure maybe some of you have heard the strategy of like chew 30 chews on every bite. That's a little excessive for me. I'm not going to tell you that that's something I practice, but if that's something you want to practice, like see if it helps you to actually register that you are full. But I think so many of us are multitasking, right? We're on our phone, we're watching TV, we're scrolling through some bullshit. We're not even paying attention to how satisfied we feel from our food. We would likely be a lot fuller, a lot sooner if we actually just paid attention and slowed down, like Liz said. Like try to eat distraction free. And so many of you are like, bitching and moaning because you don't get enough quality time with your partner or your kids or your family or whatever. How many times are you guys sitting down and having dinner together without people being on phones, without people watching TV? Have a 30 to 60 minute dinner where you guys are sitting down and actually having a conversation, right? Like maybe if you chose to be with this life partner or something, you could like get to know them or something instead of being on your fucking phone. So like, again, quit bitching to me that you don't have time for X, Y, and Z. Show me the screen time on your phone. Show me how many hours a week you are wasting plugged into a device instead of plugged into the people, you guys. Enjoy the experience, enjoy the company, make the memories. Like that's what it's all about. And I'm going to go over one last thing. If you are interested, we do have like a little cheat sheet that I always offer whenever people are new to the group. So you guys will likely see in here every Monday. I welcome all the new people who have joined our group over the past week. And there is a handout that we have, and it's called Fat Loss Without Counting Calories. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I will shoot it over to you. You're going to have to like drop me a comment here, whatever, or DM me or something. I'm going to need your email address, obviously, so I can send it to you. But it's a great way to just like learn about what are some of the strategies that you can use beyond what we just discussed here today. So thanks for being here, everybody. I hope you have an amazing Friday, Junior. We will be back next week. What did we decide our topic was? I know we already said it. It is going to be, yes, snacking versus grazing. Because your girl Liz, she knows all about that. Like she said with her ADHD, she prefers like snacking versus meals. And so I'm very excited to learn from her. And I hope you guys are too. So again, let us know what you liked, what you don't like. If you don't like us, get the fuck out. Bye.
Bye.